They made their flight. You did. And you think you're gonna check me in? I bet you we won't. Okay?
I paid for a ticket.
And you paid $25 for HNSC fee, and you checked in 3 hours later. Hello.
I just said that I.
Gonna get on your flight.
Yeah, I just said that I would pay the $25.
And you thought you were gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket. I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes before my flight.
So what you're witnessing right here is a viral clip at a Frontier Airlines counter of now fired contractors for the airline refusing to let a man check into his flight due to the fact that they originally had a dispute over a $25 fee, which, by the way, these allegedly discount airlines in the United States of America are notorious for, that the man has decided to concede on, but in their opinion, he disrespected, he crossed the line, so they decided to go full ghetto on him, and as if you didn't need any more proof of their lack of intelligence, they're filming this from their side because they thought this would make a video that actually made them look good. Now, of course, this is obviously people in a customer service position refusing to do customer service, and it ultimately ended up costing this man making his flight. It ended up costing these women their jobs, and weirdly enough, even though this is an extreme, egregious example of piss poor behavior by these contractors, Frontier Airlines didn't really apologize to the man, and we all know, had the situation been flipped, had you had black women against a white man or anybody that was not a black person on the other side of the counter, this would be deemed a viral racial incident. But of course, it's the United States of America, so we're gonna have this situation where obviously these people deserve to be fired, obviously this person deserves to be compensated, and all it's really going to do is not lead to an apology, but it's going to lead to everybody understanding that you definitely shouldn't fly Frontier Airlines. And by the way, I know I have some European viewers out there in the audience, and I just want to say, I've flown the discount airlines in Europe. I've flown Ryanair to be specific, and guess what? That model 100% works over there. The people behind the counter are professional over there, but for whatever reason, the United States of America, when it comes to Frontier and Spirit, by the way, two companies that have tried repeatedly to merge with one another just so they can combine the absolute worst of the worst in terms of airlines, always seem to have these situations emerge, always seem to have this piss poor customer service, and oftentimes these are the airlines where we see brawls in and around the plane because that's just the kind of energy they're attracting. So if you're ever in a situation where you think you're gonna save a buck by getting on these flights, first and foremost, you will be wiped out with the fees, but in addition to that, you will also get this piss poor customer service and won't even get an apology for it. But we're gonna break down this whole entire video. We're gonna talk about another famous incident of an airport kerfuffle, and we're gonna do all that. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
And they're not letting me check in.
And you're not getting on your flight.
Because it's a policy. We don't control that.
And you will never fly.
You were about to let me check in. You were about to let me check in. And you decided that you ain't gonna let me check in.
Make me check you in.
So look, I already know based on the fact that there are 3 black women behind this counter, they have horrible, terrible attitudes throughout the whole course of this encounter, and they're dumb enough to actually film this encounter as if they're in the right, that some of you out there in the audience are going to immediately attribute this to race. But make no mistake about it, ghetto is a mindset. It is a cultural phenomenon in the United States of America, and just because you're a black woman in a customer service position does not mean in any way, shape, or form that you act like this, that you perform your duties like this, that you're this quick to anger. And in reality, I think this is more to do with the ghetto culture they bring with them to the table in this particular position. And of course, the ghetto culture that discount airlines in the United States of America seem to operate with. Again, when we see fights break out, they're usually on Spirit flights. For whatever reason, these types of airlines that try to nickel and dime you with excessive fees tend to hire these kind of people to be behind the counter counter, and that is what we're witnessing on display right here. But I also want to add that Frontier as a company didn't really issue this guy an apology. They did refund his money, they did let go of these people, but essentially in their statement following this interaction, they said, oh, well, these are just independent contractors, they're not really employees of Frontier, and we have canceled their contracts. And again, something about hiring your regular ordinary staff as independent contractors, in my opinion, is one of the things that leads to these piss poor results. But again, this interaction goes on.
You literally work for a company that I bought a plane ticket for. I'm here 30 minutes before the flight.
Can you please leave, sir?
No.
Can you please leave my personal space?
I'm not in your personal space. This is not your personal space.
This is my stationery.
This is not your personal space.
Again, think about the absurdity of this particular situation. Yes, the guy was trying to get rid of a mandatory fee. He didn't want to pay it. It's totally understandable. But then you have this woman saying, make me check you in, after he agrees to pay it. So after she won the argument, after she won this whole interaction, after the pressure was put on him in order to check into his flight, he decided to comply with this absurd fee. And then she's like, I'm not going to do it. Make me check you in. And then all of a sudden she starts playing the victim. She's like, get out of my personal space. You're in my face. You're the problem that is in this situation. And I really need you to leave. Again, this is somebody that you're supposed to talk to with your questions, with your specific issues, to help you with check-in. That is quite literally her job. But now she's playing the victim in this situation, and she's being enabled by multiple other people who are staff at Frontier Airlines, or independent contractors as they describe them. And this is normal to her. Again, this is being filmed by their side of the interaction because they believe that they are in the right, that they are justified. This is the job training over at Frontier Airlines, which is one of the reasons why you should never fly this airline. These airlines should go completely out of business, and that's really unfortunate for me to say, because I want more competition in terms of flying. But the fact is, if this is what you're putting up as staff, you deserve for your company to go completely under. This is embarrassing. And the fact that she's flashing the Frontier logo like, oh, I'm here, I'm an employee, I'm the boss, I'm entitled, you're not getting on your flight, to hell with you because you're such a terrible person. And in reality, you're victimizing me by trying to get the customer service from me that you're entitled to because I'm an employee that's supposed to provide that service.
You work for a company. This is not your personal space.
We ain't gotta worry about it. We ain't gotta worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. You're literally not doing your job for a customer that has paid for a plane ticket to get home.
I told you to stop putting the camera on me, sir.
So here you have her saying, we don't gotta worry about it, we don't gotta worry about it, it's not our business, it's not like we work at Frontier and it's our job to check people in, we don't gotta worry about it. And the guy is trying to explain to them what their job is. He's trying to explain to them in very simple, slow language so they can understand it. But of course, the collective IQ behind this counter is extraordinarily low. It is definitely lower than room temperature, and this is how these people are operating. Now, I don't know where that bigger woman, the one that was the major problem in this interaction, ultimately ended up going, but I would not be surprised if she decided to go get security to arrest this man for daring to try to pay the fee after negotiating or attempting to negotiate away the fee in order to get on his plane to go home. I mean, where the hell does he think he is? At an airport? What an absolute idiot. This is their domain. This is their personal space, and you need to beg and grovel for mercy if you want any service from them, because they have been contracted out by Frontier Airlines, our crappy discount airline of the day. Again, absolute madness on display right here. And I just want to point out that even though this guy ended up uploading this video, obviously we can see that it's from his phone, they're filming it too. So they thought this was a good idea to put on their social media, that maybe they would get a GoFundMe on their behalf because they're standing up to the oppressor, the oppressive customer that dareth ask a customer service employee for some damn customer service.
I'm literally here at Frontier. I bought a ticket and they are not letting me check in.
Listen, I know I said that this was a cultural thing and not a racial thing, and I want to make it clear I 100% stand by that. But he just panned over to another employee, and I know he's doing the baggage check-in over there at that section of the airport, but the fact is, maybe you should talk to that sensible white guy over there. He looks a little bit older, and maybe, just maybe, he seems like he would understand that a customer service position is actually supposed to provide customer service rather than have this moment where they're standing up to you because they don't need your business, because they represent the company, and you're just a dumb idiot for expecting a decent experience or even a reasonably bad experience, because this is well beyond that, from Frontier Airlines.
For no reason whatsoever.
Well, you said you're never flying the airline again, so we might as well help you out and have you not fly the airline.
I've already bought a ticket.
And just when you thought Ryan Johnson was done impacting your life, here he is directing these Frontier Airlines staffers to subvert your expectations, because the white guy that I set up beautifully as potentially the sensible person in this altercation has decided to side with his fellow contractors, side with the ghetto trash culture over at Frontier Airlines, and stand up for their right to refuse him service, refuse him the ability to check in, because again, this is basically infecting all of the staff that are contracted out at this particular airport. Again, older white guy says, well, you said you're not going to fly this airline due to the fact that we're being outrageous in terms of our customer service. Well, guess what? We're going to help you out right now by saying that you can't fly this time. So, haha, what a great point. And honestly, I'm just going to say it for everybody out there. This guy should be fired too. Each and every one of these employees down the line should have their contracts terminated, because this is absolutely asinine. This is ridiculous. And again, even the allegedly potential sensible white guy has decided to betray us all, betray humanity by siding with the monsters behind the counter. He is in fact the monster. Ryan Johnson has subverted our expectations once again. And honestly, we should all be ashamed of each and every one of these people over at Frontier Airlines, but also a little bit ashamed of this person for booking a flight with them, because we all understand that they have the worst customer service.
I've literally already bought a ticket, and this is your reaction.
So right there, the video ends, and as I told you, what we ended up discovering is that the contractors were fired. Frontier Airlines didn't really issue an apology, but it seems like this guy got his money back. But of course, if he had to fly back for an important event, something work-related or something of the sort, he ends up getting completely screwed over by this airline in multiple different ways. So a basic apology from Frontier, in my opinion, should be warranted. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't situations where airport staff don't have to deal with belligerent customers. In fact, Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks had a notoriously bad incident with American Airlines where he screamed at employees like an absolute madman, live streamed it on his own channel, and then ultimately was booted from the plane when it eventually arrived.
Well, it's not funny anymore. Now we've been here 3 hours, and American Airlines sucks. They decided, for whatever reason, to screw everybody on this flight. It's not like there was one plane that was here and it developed like a mechanical problem. Okay, that happens. I get it, right? Everybody gets it. No, they just decided to f*** this Miami flight. So everybody who's on it, they decided, we'll make you wait 3, maybe 4 hours. There's still no plane here.
Supervisor, you at least got to be honest. Is there a flight? Is there a plane? You got to be honest. Is there a plane? There's never been a plane here. There wasn't one at 49A. There wasn't one at 47A. There isn't one at 48A. 3 gate changes, no plane. There's no plane. Where's the plane?
If you guys think this is bad, wait till, if that plane doesn't actually come from the hangar in 20 minutes.
I need to. You're a supervisor, aren't you? Where's the plane?
I'm not going to answer your question.
No, I know, because I've been here for 4 hours. Don't give me this. Where's the plane? Here, I got a question for you. When did you make the decision that we weren't going to have a plane? When did you make that decision? Who made the decision? Who made the decision that we weren't? It's funny to you, right? It's not funny to us. Who made the decision? Who made the decision?
That's right.
Who made it? Well, who is it then? That's what I'm asking. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Is there a crew? Is there a crew? Is there a crew?
By yelling, we're not going to be able to answer your question.
Okay, let me whisper it. Is there a crew? Is there a plane or a crew?
Like 204, your plane is already on its way from the hangar.
No, but they told us that 4 hours ago. Is it actually coming? Is it actually coming? Because I literally heard it was coming from the hangar 3 hours ago. I literally heard that.
And just like the great philosophical question, what happens when an unstoppable force makes contact with an immovable object? That brings us to the great philosophical question of what would happen if Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, with the kind of energy he was bringing to these American airline employees, ended up facing off against this ghetto mindset. Who would eventually win? Nobody would know, but I think the clips would be fantastic. I think the clips would be fantabulous, and I would love to see it. Somebody needs to make this happen. We're all rooting for you video editors out there that are better than me to make this happen, but I just want to know what you guys think about these two situations colliding down in the comments below. As per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the craziness at Frontier Airlines. Till next time.